Hey guys, so for today we're looking at Everyday Math Lesson 5.6, which is looking at multiplication fact strategies. This will be like the second or third day that we've been looking at this. So your assignments for today are going to be the home link, math boxes, and then I want you practicing on extra math, your math facts. So our objective today is similar to the one yesterday, where I can use doubling to solve area number stories. We're going to be using the area model to help us to solve multiplication facts that we are unsure of. So yesterday you were asked to complete this as one of your assignments, and I want to go over the answers on this so that we can understand what's happening with this bar graph and how we answer those questions. You guys see a lot of these questions on your evaluate questions where it is a bar graph and you have to read it and then solve some kind of problem. So you have to understand how to use those numbers. So the first thing that I like to do when I use the bar graph is to write in the numbers that each of those bars are. That way I'm not getting confused or losing track of what how much one thing is. So realistic fiction goes up to the 30, so this is 30. Nonfiction goes past the 50, but not to the 60, so we're going to call it 55. Fantasy goes up to 60. Mystery goes up to 30, but then not to 40, so we're going to call it 35. And drama goes past the 10, but not to 20, so we're going to call it 15. So I want to understand this bar graph, so I need to look at the title. These are books checked out in July from a library. We've got the number of books going up, and then we've got the type of books written along the bottom. So each of these bars represents a type of book. Question number 1 says, how many more fantasy books were checked out than mystery? So I'm looking for fantasy and mystery, and my keywords is going to be how many more. Now, this problem doesn't have the numbers, but I use the bar graph to help me. So fantasy has 60, mystery has 35. When I see the words how many more, I'm going to subtract. So I need to subtract 60 minus 35. I can't take away 0 or 5 from 0, so I'm going to have to go to the tens column and take one of these 10s, so it'll leave me with 5. And then I'm going to add that 10 to my 1s. So 10 minus 5 is 5. 5 minus 3 is 2. So my answer is 25 more books. Number 2, how many fewer drama books were checked out than realistic fiction? Again, I'm looking for drama and realistic fiction. So my drama is 15. My realistic fiction is 30. The question says, how many fewer? That is another word that tells me I'm going to need to subtract. So I'm going to subtract 30 minus 15. Again, I can't do 5 minus 0, so I'm going to borrow a 10, put my 10 in the ones column. 10 minus 5 is 5. 2 minus 1 is 1. So there were 15 fewer drama books checked out than realistic fiction. How many books were checked out all together? So we're looking at the books and we're looking at all together. So that tells me I'm going to need to add all of them up together. Now, this is where it's helpful that I wrote down all of these numbers, because then I can easily do my addition problem. So I'm going to do 30, 55, 60, 35, and 15, and I'm adding those all together. I want to be really careful that I am adding my 1s and my 10s in a straight column so that I know I'm not adding 10s and 1s together. So I can see 5, 10, 15. I can't put 15 here in the 1s column, so I'm going to have to carry that 10 and 15 to the 10s column. So then I've got 1 plus 3 is 4. 4 plus 5 is 9. 9 plus 6 is 15. 15 plus 3 is 18. And then one more is 19. There were 195 books checked out altogether. This, make sure we put the unit, so we're going to call them 195 books. The librarian found that the total number of nonfiction and drama books checked out in August was double the total checked out in July. How many total nonfiction and drama books were checked out in August? So this one we have to think about what we know. So we're trying to find out how many nonfiction and drama books were checked out in August. The way that it is that we know is that the total number of nonfiction and drama books checked out in August was double, this is going to be a key word, double the total checked out in July. So I need to know how many nonfiction books and drama books were checked out in July. So I'm going to add those together. Nonfiction is 55. Drama is 15. So I'm going to add those together. 5 plus 5 is 10. When I carry the 1, 5 plus one more plus another is 7. So in July, there were 70 books, nonfiction and drama books checked out. My problem says that it was doubled the total checked out in July. When I double something, I am multiplying it by 2, or I am adding it to itself. So 70 plus 70. Adding my 1s is 0. 7 plus 7 is 14. So there were 140 nonfiction and drama books checked out in August. So I'm going to say 140 books. All right, so number 5 says, use information in the bar graph to write your own question, then answer it. So something different than what we've said. We used mystery once here. So I think I'm going to use mystery and nonfiction. So I'm just going to say, how many mystery and nonfiction books were checked out in July? This is a pretty basic problem, so if I'm asking how many together, I'm going to go with mystery was 35 plus nonfiction is 55. I can add those together, and that will give me 90. That will give me 90 books. Okay. All right, moving on. I would like for you to solve this math message. It says to complete the math message. This can be a little bit tricky. Blank is a double of 3. So if we were to double 3, it would be 6. Because 6 is half of 3. Because half of 6 is 3. All right. Blank is a double of 5. So if I double 5, that is 10. Because half of 10 is 5. Blank is a double of 9. So we double 9, and that is 18. Because half of 18 is 9. What do all of the doubles have in common? Well, they all have in common is that they become half of their number. And this happens because doubling and halving are similar to each other. When we double, we are increasing. When we're halving, we're decreasing by the same amount. All right. This is page 168 in your book. And question 4 says, your friend is planting a rectangular garden that is 6 feet wide and 7 feet long. To buy the correct amount of fertilizer, she needs to find the area of the garden, but she does not know how to solve 6 times 7. Show your friend how she can use doubling to figure out the area. So I want to think about my doubling. And one thing that I know about doubling is when I double a number, it's an even number. So I'm going to pick my number that is an even number. And in this case, it is 6. 6 is an even number, so that I know I can split that in half. When I split 6 in half, it is 3 and 3. I'm just going to cross this off so I don't confuse my 6. I don't want that 6 to be in there just to confuse me, because now instead of 6, I have 3 and 3. To find the area, I'm going to multiply my length times my width. So 3 times 7, that equals 21. And this is also 3 times 7, so I know that's 21 as well. And I'm going to add these two together. 21 plus 21 equals 42. 6 times 7 is 42. The area of your friend's garden is 42 square feet. Okay, let's try another one. I skipped through all of this. We double 3 to get 6. We're going to break that rectangle into 2 smaller equivalent sizes, meaning equal. The length of the 2 smaller sides are 3, and the multiplication fact that we can use is 3 times 7. All right, this is on page 169. This is question number 5. Your friend changed her mind. Oh, geez, can't keep it straight. She now wants her garden to be 4 feet wide and 8 feet long. She needs to find the area of this garden, but she does not know how to solve 4 times 8. Use doubling to help her solve 4 times 8. Show your work below. Hint, you can start by breaking apart the 4-foot side into 2 feet and 2 feet. So both of these numbers are even numbers, so I could split both of these numbers in half. We're going to start with breaking 4 in half, because the thing that I love about this one is 4 broken in half is 2 and 2. I can easily multiply by 2. So I now have 2 equivalent fractions that are the same, or 2 equivalent rectangles that are the same. So I can do 2 times 8, and that equals 16. 2 times 8 equals 16. So if I know the top is 16, the bottom is 16, I add those two together to get 32. 4 times 8 is 32. The area of your friend's 4x8 garden is 32 square feet. What helper fact did you double to solve 4 times 8? This is our helper fact. 2 times 8 equals 16. All right, looking at the bottom of this page, it says, find a different way to use doubling to help your friend find the answer to 4 times 8. Show your work below. Hint, you can start by having the other side of the rectangle. So break apart we already did this side, so we're going to do the 8 side. The 8-foot side into, if I split this in half, I'm not going to have 8 feet, I'm going to have 4 and 4. So I'm going to split it into 4 feet and 4 feet. What helper fact did we use to solve this? Well, if I want to find the area of this rectangle, I do length times width. Remember, we're no longer using the 8, we're using this 4, because I'm finding the area of this rectangle right now. So it is 4 times 4, and that equals 16. Now, I split this in half, so I already know that this is 4. So my area of this side is the same thing as the other one. So the area on the right side is going to be 16 as well. So I can do 16 plus 16, and that equals 32, just like it was on the page before. Same problem, we just solved it a different way. Remember, I always say I like math because there are so many different ways that you can solve something. So what helper fact did we use to solve it? This 4 times 8 equals 16. 4 times 4, sorry, equals 16. That's the helper fact. Okay, so what you're going to be doing is working on the home link. It is another problem like these that we just solved. Then you're going to be doing your math boxes, and finally you're going to be doing your extra math. Remember, when you are looking to find a number to double or to divide in half, you're looking for an even number.